Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes. Guess what time it is? It's 10:30 on the 6th of January. It is a Monday morning and it's part 28 of FPL Talk, all things fantasy, all things Premier League, and to a degree, all things football. Oh, yes. And we are game week 20, aren't we? It's close to finished. I think there's one more game left to play this evening between Wolves and Nottingham Forest. Decent game. Actually, looking forward to that. Bit of a sort of Midlands derby going on there over at the over at Molineux. So without further ado, I will get you guys seeing what I see. Now, this week there will be 3 episodes rather than my usual a couple a day. I will be doing one today, obviously, one on Wednesday and one on Friday. So look out for the times on that. I think the Wednesday one will probably be afternoon-ish, and the Friday one probably around about 11 o'clock in the morning. But otherwise, hopefully you guys can see what I can see, because as you can see, we've got some results so far from game week 20, haven't we? It started on Saturday with the early kickoff, or the lunchtime kickoff, of Spurs versus Newcastle, and a 2-1 win for Newcastle. And I did say I don't think there's going to be a clean sheet for Newcastle, despite them being really, really solid recently. So unfortunately, if you are Hall owners, or if you have Botman or Burn, none of you would have got clean sheets. Botman and Burn getting yellow cards. Well, Botman a bit of a surprise inclusion into the team as well, because he was out injured for such a long period of time. He's come back. He looked a bit edgy, didn't he, for that goal from Solanke? Perhaps sort of working his way up to fitness. But otherwise, 2-1. If you guys have got Gordon and Isak, well done. There was a big influx of transfers for Gordon, wasn't there, before this game week? A lot of people already had Isak. People sort of wondering about Spurs assets. Well, Solanke scored. He hasn't done that in a couple of games, I think, is it? Let's have a little look. Yeah, hasn't done that since. Well, there you go. Proves a point. Liverpool, game week 17. So a couple of games he hadn't scored. His ownership's fairly okay at 9%, not the highest. Big thing for Jacob Murphy as well. A lot of people have been wondering whether his form would carry on. He did get an assist in that game. Looked okay, looked decent. Played 85 minutes, so predominantly, give or take, a couple of minutes the whole match. So that's the highest he scored bar Manchester United the previous week, which is good because he's currently keeping Harvey Barnes out of the team, isn't he, for Newcastle? Gordon playing on the other side. So, yeah, very good. Happy with his points. So 2-1 in that game. Then we had Villa versus Leicester. I expected Villa to win. They did. Looked a bit iffy at one point, but did win in the end. 2-1. No goals, though, for Watkins, which is interesting because a lot of people jumped on the Watkins bandwagon, didn't they? And he didn't score at all. He got, what did he get? 2 points in the end for that game. Really, the only returns came from Cash Maatsen, Cash being a bonus point. Maatsen, who came on, then his substitute and got that assist. Vardy, I did say if anything was going to happen, it'd be through Vardy. Got the assist rather than the goal, surprisingly. And then an interesting one from Bailey and Barkley. So, great win, but a win nonetheless for Villa. Keeps them going, doesn't it? Keeps them flying at the top half of the league. Bournemouth versus Everton. I expected this to be a draw of some kind. Surprised a tiny bit, although you could say that technically Bournemouth are the home team. They had that in their advantage. But yeah, expected a sort of 1-1 draw. Kirkes do really, really well. I think he's been looked at, isn't he, by Liverpool as a possible player for them. So Kirkes getting the assist and Brooks getting the goal 1-0 against Everton. Crystal Palace, Chelsea. I expected Chelsea to score, and I expected Crystal Palace to score, so this is not much of a surprise. I am surprised by the outcome, though. I did expect Chelsea to win, maybe by 2-1, perhaps even a few more than this, maybe 3-1. But credit to Crystal Palace. They like this, aren't they? Such a solid team, especially at home. Really difficult to play against. They were back in there with Hodgson, Vieira, and obviously now with Glasner, so they do really, really well. 1-1 draw at home. Technically speaking, a London derby, isn't it? So well done to them. Mateta again and Eze. Nothing for Ismaila Sarr, though. I did say I wonder if that might have just been a purple patch for Ismaila Sarr, where he did really well. A lot of people jumped on that bandwagon. He's obviously not got much of a points-wise fantasy this week neither. Palmer got his goal again, his customary weekly goal. Colwell got a yellow card. I was quite disappointed with Colwell getting yellow. He's one of those players that seems to get involved unnecessarily in things. So a bit annoyed by that one. City versus West Ham. Then this was the kind of game I was watching thinking, I've been haunted, haven't I? Officially, it's one of those curses where you sell a player and suddenly they start going just crazy. Haaland, 2 returns in 2 matches since I got rid of him. I got rid of him in the previous week. He got a goal. I got rid of him obviously still out of the team this week. He's got 2 goals. And let's have a couple of bonus points as well. Yes, okay, it was West Ham they played. That's fair enough. But previously it's against Leicester. I'm hoping that it's a little bit of a sort of a spike and that he might drop a little bit because I want his price to come down. Not only that, but obviously I don't want people to go crazy and buy him and then his price to go up because he's on this sort of on the very heavy watch list right this second. The problem is, as you guys know, with Haaland being so expensive, you have to change your team almost around to get him into the team. So yeah, I have got thoughts on how to get him in if I need to. Let me be very honest with you guys. Getting him in is not going to be easy. It's going to require a complete team flip around. It's going to require imbalance to a degree. The only logical way of bringing him in is to get rid of either, someone like Cole Palmer. Do you want to get rid of him? Or getting rid of maybe Salah? No chance. Or they're messing about with the forward line, which I can do, but then that'll weaken the rest of the team. So, yeah, do you go heavy in that sense? And obviously I want Arsenal assets as well. Currently right now, a bit disappointed with Martinelli, but we'll come to that in a second. So 4-1 was the win Manchester City against West Ham. No West Ham assets on my watch list at all, really. I did have Bowen, but he got injured. Kudos, I think, needs Bowen to play alongside him in order to perform well, so that's a no-go. I do have Fabianski, but he is injured right this second, so when I say no assets, he's literally out of the team, injured at the moment. So hopeful that he comes back in straight away because a 4-0 drumming against Man City, okay, that can happen to any team, but the hope is that Areola didn't paint himself in any kind of glory and that Fabianski's still in with a chance maybe of playing in the next game week. Game week 21. We're on 20 still, don't forget. Southampton got crushed by Brentford. Very happy with Wisa, by the way. And Bueno got 2, so he is obviously the man to get in your team if you haven't already got him. For Brentford, a lot of people sold him, didn't they? His purple patch seems to be going back again, so that's why I'm loath to get rid of Wisa just yet. I know he didn't do a great deal in the last few weeks, but I'm still of the feeling that Wisa, he's got chances, he's got opportunities. He should have got that goal previously in one of the matches before where it was deemed offside. Otherwise, that would have been a good chance to get a goal, and it would have sort of stemmed the price lowing because it went down, didn't it? It went down by 0.1. Wisa. So he scored and got an assist and got a couple of bonus points as well, which is good. That's really good. So hopefully that stems the sort of sale tide and people start to think twice or maybe even consider bringing him back in again. Please bring him back in again. Let's get that price up again. So yeah, 5-0 thumping. Good on the defenders. Van der Berg, if you've got him for Brentford, really good. Southampton, crushing. We thought they would do okay under Juric and thought it was a bit of a new manager bounce. Not really. Brighton versus Arsenal. The biggest shock in this game was Martinelli not starting. Trossard and Nwaneri started. Nwaneri, if that's how you pronounce the name. Nwaneri and Trossard started, didn't they? In general, that was a bit of a pain. And then obviously he scored Nwaneri, thinking, it's going to be Trossard that comes off potentially sort of 60-odd minutes, and that's going to get Martinelli a few minutes in the game. It did the other way around though. Nwaneri got injured, didn't he? Which is a pain because he played really well. I thought it was fantastic. A sort of Saka-esque goal he scored against Brighton, didn't he? And then he got subbed off for an injury. Martinelli came on, so it was a sort of bittersweet moment for me there. Obviously, being an Arsenal fan, I want Nwaneri to do well. I want him to become the next sort of. He's not going to be the next Saka, but the next sort of one of the conveyor belt of great young Arsenal players that start to play well, maybe for England as well. Martinelli came on, so I got my point, which I'm happy with, better than nothing. Although, let's be honest, 1, Martinelli was always coming on at some point, and 2. I say I'm pleased he came off 1 point. You'll see why I wasn't particularly pleased in the end. So, João Pedro, massive signings. And I think a lot of people brought him in terms of transfers in for the last few game weeks. He has vindicated that. He's got a goal in the past 2 games. He's done quite well. He did nothing prior to that point there, mind you. So, a lot of people are holding him just because of that reason. He's also a cheap player at 5.7 million. And on penalties also, don't forget, he did get the 2 assists against Villa. Didn't score, though, but did score against Arsenal. Typical, the curse of Arsenal. We let everyone score against us. So there you go. Mourinho got an assist again. He's been quite good for Arsenal in midfield, hasn't he? Goal and assist in the last few games. So slowly starting to find his feet in the Arsenal midfield. Doing well indeed. So as I said, I was happy at this particular point that Martinelli came on and got a point. Thankfully, I didn't get zeros. And then this happened, didn't it? Fulham played against Ipswich first and foremost. 2 goals of Raul Jimenez. Again, a lot of people brought in Raul Jimenez as a cheap forward option. Very good choice at the moment. He got 2 goals against Ipswich, got a goal against Bournemouth, didn't do a great deal against Chelsea. only 20 odd minutes against Southampton, but he did score a couple against Ipswich. A really good play. Wilson has been going under the radar a little bit. Wilson. A lot of people have been ignoring him. I know he only played 22 minutes against Chelsea. He did get a goal in that game. He got a goal in the 77 minutes he played against Bournemouth, and he also got an assist. And he's quite vibrant. He's quite lively against Ipswich. Got the ball a lot, moving, passing, moving a lot. So I did watch bits of that game. Played well. Then there's the big one over at Ipswich, Delap. He keeps scoring, doesn't he? I say keeps scoring. In the past few games, he's kept scoring, but he's on 8 already. That's pretty good for a newly promoted side. He's playing Liam, sort of Rory, isn't he? Delap, Stoke man. So yes, goal against Fulham, goal assist against Chelsea. Not a great deal against Arsenal. Didn't play against Newcastle, and then it was a bit sort of iffy before that point. We'll see. He's one to watch, isn't he, really, rather than one to bring in. Still cheap, 5.6. If they're going to get goals, it's going to be through him. A lot of people were saying with Hutchinson out for Ipswich, there wasn't a lot of creativity flair. But Smojic did quite well as well, didn't he? And he got his goal. Smojic. He got his goal against them. Again, he hasn't done a great deal this season, but he hasn't had massive chances. It's been sort of patchy, hasn't it, really, for Ipswich? He got a goal for them. So the bonus points went 2 to Delap, 3 to Rowell, and 1 to Wilson. Now, my Martinelli one-pointer blocked this game. So, Gecko scored, and it was a good game, actually, yesterday. Really good game. I actually, personally, I know a lot of people in Liverpool would disagree with this. I actually thought Man United deserved to win. All in all, I thought they did. Controversial thing to say, I know, and I love Liverpool at the moment. I think they do really, really well. I'm not a fan of Liverpool. I'm an Arsenal fan, but I'm a football fan in general. So when I watch a match, I enjoy watching that particular game, irrespective of who I support. Unless, of course, Arsenal playing. Of course, there's a bit of bias, but this game was really good. I'm a fan of Liverpool. They did really well. I was a fan of Manchester City when they did well and sort of won the titles when Arsenal came second. It's just you've got to love football in general. But ultimately, I'm an Arsenal fan, so I want them to win, obviously. But really good game yesterday. But watching it from start to finish, I thought Man United should have won. End of story. I really do. Scrape win, maybe, but a win nonetheless. I thought Liverpool looked a bit lackadaisical. I think that they looked a little bit, careless would be the best way to put it. I expected them to go to the jugular. They're at home. They're at Anfield. The fans are singing "You Never Walk Alone." That anthem's going off around the stadium. It leaves hairs on the back of your neck stand up. It really, really does. United are visiting. They're not in the greatest form. They're a bit down. I know it's a big derby game for the two teams, and I know they have a lot of passion, and there's always a lot of intensity in these kind of games. But United started really, really well. Martinez, and obviously that Bukalis. But at the moment, Amad Diallo, and this is the biggest kick in the teeth. Amad Diallo scored. I thought, that's it now. They equalised, and then there was that chance, wasn't there, for Maguire, and I thought, he's missed it, and there you go, that was the end. Salah got his usual goal, didn't he? Which I'm really happy about. I captained him for a bit of that match. I was thinking, is he even going to score? It was sort of lively, but the sort of shots were wayward, and the sort of efforts are wayward from Liverpool in general. I suppose Man United rode the luck a little bit in patches. But, I just thought that United were a little bit better than Liverpool yesterday at Anfield, which is surprising to say. Trent, we'll talk a lot about Trent Alexander-Arnold. He was extremely poor. Extremely poor. I don't know, as in it's all over the news right this second, whether the speculation about his future, maybe Real Madrid coming knocking, has caused him to sort of go a little bit funny. We'll find out in the next few games. It's not an easy game to play against United, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt in this match. But I just thought that Trent looked really, really, really poor. His passing was poor. His touch was poor. And a lot of his defensive frailties were shown and highlighted heavily against Man United, which is a surprise, really. Considering United played with, Fernandes, Amad Diallo, and Højlund up front. You're not talking Garnacho's up there. I know Rashford, a lot of people are not a fan of Rashford, and he's been a bit crazy at the moment. And everything going on with him is a bit mad. But, without having extreme attacking flair, I know Amad Diallo's got the pace, but Højlund doesn't really. Bruno Fernandes is a bit sort of drop deep, get the ball, pass it round a little bit. So essentially, Amad Diallo was the only real heavy attacking outlet for them. And yet they did really look like they were going to score a couple of goals against Liverpool, even another one, the third. And if they'd have scored a third and won 3-2, you wouldn't have said it was undeserved. You wouldn't really. I wouldn't say this game could have gone either way. I would have said, really, to be honest, United were in the ascendancy for elements of this and probably deserved to win it just. However, I didn't expect it to be a clean sheet for both sides. It wasn't. A big surprise to me also was Konate come back straight into the team. I know he had trained up to this point, but I would have thought maybe Slot might have sort of rested him or brought him on for a few minutes, or not even brought him on at all, and maybe played Kwanzaa. I was banking on that as well, to a degree. Hindsight's a funny thing, because even if I had have played Kwanzaa, I would have ended up with 1 point. So not a massive difference between that and what I got in the end, which was 0, believe it or not, I know. So yes, in this game in particular, I had Amad Diallo on the bench. Martinelli blocked it. It was 1 point, 45 minutes he came on, didn't he, for Nuenieri in that game. That blocked my big haul. So the reveal now. There is another match, by the way, before I show you guys. It is tonight. It's 8 o'clock. Obviously, it's on Sky. It's Wolves versus Forest. I'm actually going to watch this game. I'm quite interested. I'm going to watch this on TV on Sky. I think it's going to be a really good game. I really do. I think Cunha's available still. I don't think his ban's been quite revealed yet and confirmed. So maybe Cunha's still in the team. Strand Larsen is available, obviously, as well. I've got Strand Larsen, he's a good player. And then they've got Ait Nouri as well, who can create things on that side, that full-back position or wing-back position. Really, really good player for them. But Forest, I think Forest will scrape the win. I really do in this game. Wood, obviously, is firing. And also there's Gibbs White's doing really, really well for them as well. Their defence is very solid, isn't it, really, with Sells, Nico Williams, Milenkovic, Morello. I think he's back as well from injury. And then we've got Aina on that far side, haven't you, as well? Really good, solid team at the moment. They do still concede Forest, but they're still a solid team. And Elliot Anderson's been looked at, isn't he, by the big teams. I don't think they're going to get him because he's only just signed for Forest. But yeah, some really, really good players, talented players over at Forest. We haven't even mentioned the wingers like Elanga and Hudson-Odoi, who don't even get into the team. Well, Elanga does, but Hudson-Odoi doesn't even get a sort of sniffing, does he? So there you go. That's the match tonight on Sky. Wolves Forest. One to watch. Last game of game week 20. But as it stands, that game does not affect me because I do not have any players from either of those teams in tonight's fixture. So the big reveal, bosh. Here it is. So my total points this week, 56. Not bad. I always look at the average versus my latest points. I have 4 more than the average, which is good. Good start, at least. That's what I think. Think positively, people. Think positively. Raya got me 3, obviously, against Brighton. He got the 3 saves, which meant I got 3 points rather than 2. Kwanzaa, well, he will be subbed out in a minute anyway. I played him instead, expecting him to start, but Konate surprised me, so he got 0. Colwell got me 1. Not happy with that particularly. The yellow card was more annoying than the clean sheets. I think I'm reading a lot about Chelsea, and to get off their assets now, especially defensively, they're not good. I'm very much considering that. Lewis got me 2 at one point. It was a clean sheet. But then West Ham scored, didn't they? Fulkrug scored for them, and that affected the clean sheet. But Lewis did get a clean sheet previous week, so I'm happy with him for now. Then we've got the midfield set, haven't we? 10 for Palmer, which is good. Probably should have captained, but you always captain Salah. A-C-S, you do. Even though he got less points, there's a week where it'll turn it on and Palmer won't, and that'll be the week that you lose ranking a little bit. So third, I got 10 for Palmer. I got 14, 2 sevens, double 7 for Mo Salah as a captain. I got 1 for Martinelli. Grr. I got 5. I was always going to get 1 for Martinelli, to be honest. Arsenal will always play him at some particular point. If he's on the bench, he's coming on, or he starts. Jacob Murphy, I'm happy with. He did really well. At one point, I thought I was vindicated playing Murphy instead of Amad Diallo. We had Visa, who got 11. Really good. Disappointed once again with Nicholas Jackson. Lots of 50-50 split on Jackson. People say he's going to come good. He's getting the chances. He'll put one away, and then it'll just be spike in his performances. A lot of people saying get off Jackson now, before it gets any worse. If you've already got, Chelsea coverage in Palmer, you're going to get consistency. So move Jackson out. What do you guys think? Split there. 2 points for Jackson. Not particularly great. It's been a bit of a theme so far for Jackson as well. That's the only thing I will say. If you look at the last few games, not good. Brentford and Spurs didn't do well against. It's very patchy at the moment from a player like that who's worth quite a bit. And then Isak with his customary weekly goal, very good 7 I expected. Probably 3 bonus points. The yellow card might have affected that a little bit, but he still got 7. Then on the bench, Fabianski didn't play because he's injured. Amad Diallo was the biggest teeth kicker. I could have easily had him in for Martinelli or Jackson, and I would have got some really nice points, 9 in total. But the reason I didn't is because, once again, he's been a bit patchy, hasn't he, really? He's done nothing since Manchester City and Nottingham Forest, and that's what led me to leave him on the bench, thinking that he wouldn't do a great deal against a big team like Liverpool. The opposite happened. I brought in Jacob Murphy because I expected him to do something against Tottenham. Plus, he had form on his side in terms of the fact that he'd done something in every game apart from Manchester United, even though he got 3 with a clean sheet. So, yes, I expected Jacob. And Jacob Murphy, to be fair, he paid me back. He got me 5, so I was quite happy with that. But Amad Diallo was just, once again, he turns it on and off, doesn't he, really? Or United turn it on and off, and he just happens to be involved in that situation. Kwanzaa, obviously, will be substituted out. It won't be for Gomez because he's going to be out for a while. So it'll be Dragusin, who played 45 but got nothing from that game where the silly yellow card, two goals conceded, which was a bit silly from Tottenham. They should have played a lot better, a lot more solid. A lot of people say it's not their fault. Their defensive pair of Van de Ven and Romero out. Well, the fact is they're going to be back soon. So that is basically my points. Dragusin will come in for nothing. Kwanzaa will go out for nothing. So I won't be any worse off than 56 points to end this game week. Now, there are people who have Wood, etc. today. Maybe have Cunha as well for Wolves, like Nuri, Aina, obviously, as well, Milinkovic, Murillo, Sells. So I think the average points might change to potentially 56 or even more. So whilst I'm sitting here smiling, thinking 56 is good, fact of the matter is it could end up being a lot higher, the average points. And I might end up being not so happy come tomorrow, Wednesday. So there you go, 56 points. I don't know how much you guys got this week. Game week 20. Obviously, you won't know properly if you've got players playing tonight. But you'll have a rough idea of where you're at, really. Wolves, Forest at Molineux at 8 o'clock this evening on Sky. Definitely watching. I've got no skin in the game, no dog in the fight on this one at all, as you can see. However, next week I might, but we'll keep an eye on that going forwards. For now, ladies and gents, I am on 56 points. Let me know how many points you guys have got. As always, I'm on the socials. I'm on Facebook, AJP85-channel. I'm on Twitch, A_J_P_P_8_5. I'm on X, AJ1985P, and I'm obviously on YouTube, which is where all the videos go afterwards, AJ Hardy85. Check it out, like, subscribe, and follow if you would, please, and leave some comments, and we can be special friends. Yes, we can. You know how this rolls. But yes, as always, I appreciate you guys for watching. I appreciate all the views. I hope you enjoy the content, looking at my team, looking at what I think in general in terms of fantasy. Again, I've been doing this for many, many years. It's all unedited. It's all unscripted. Literally me, headset, mic, and computer, and I'm ready to roll, really. There's absolutely no dungeon. Don't sit here with special mics and special headsets and special cameras. I literally just do it the way you guys would play it at home, and I'm sure you are, but a lot of you probably on the phone, on the mobile, doing that kind of thing. But I do it on a computer because I have the time to do it. So as you can see, there you go. That, as it stands right this second, is the team. We'll have a really quick look before I disappear at the price changes today. Those Buemo's gone up. Well, I wasn't planning to bring him in, but he's a good player. If you've got him, really good, 31% ownership, 32 nearly, 7.8 million. He's gone up by 1.1. Savio's an interesting one, isn't he? Really small purple patch, and everyone's jumped on him. He's now 6.5 million from 6.4, 2.7% people interested. Okay, Hall. He's a bit of a teeth kicker, although he hasn't done much last week, or sort of a bit patchy, but otherwise Newcastle have been quite good, solid defensively. I'll be looking at their assets as the future goes on. But Hall has done well for them. He's now on 4.9. If I brought him at 4.4, he would have rocketed. So I would have made a lot of money on Hall. I didn't, and therefore he remains at 4. But he's gone up to 4.9, 18.5%. People went from Tete, he's gone down to 4.4, hasn't been playing. Castagne's obviously been in the team. He's gone down to 4.4. Virgil's dropped. That's an interesting one. Virgil van Dijk, 23% to 6.4 million. And Mapayu, who is a Wolves centre-half defender, he's dropped from 4 to 3.9. So you have another 3.9 defender, although he doesn't play at all for Wolves. And I can't see Vitor Pereira bringing him in. As you can see, there's a lot of people questioning about Eze being in the future, potentially. Do we bring him in now? Not sure. Quite frankly, not sure. The price predicted for today is as follows. Keeping an eye on what's going to happen tonight, of course. Eric Benham from Everton is going to go down. Kanate, I hope he does go down. Could do with bringing him in, but he got sort of 90 minutes, didn't he? Gomez, but the Wolves player is going to go down tomorrow. Onana for Aston Villa is potentially going to go down. Face, who's the Leicester defender, is going to go down. Lavia's potentially going to go down, but he's injured. Pope may go down. He's injured tomorrow. Van der Ven maybe tomorrow. And King, the Wolves goalkeeper. So keep an eye on that. Not a great deal, but hopefully Kanate goes down. That would be lovely because he is very, very much on my radar for Gomez, who was injured, unfortunately, last week with hamstring. I wonder if Gomez wasn't injured, whether he would have started against Manchester United. I would have got a couple of points from that, only probably one at the end. Or whether they want to play Canate regardless. So, as you can see, there you go, guys. I'm on 56 points. Let me know what you guys have got in the comments or the messages in terms of this game week. Obviously, if you have sort of players in the Wolves versus Forest game a bit later, then your points might vary and might slightly change. But otherwise, I will see you fan-dabby-dozy people on Wednesday now. So we're going to do a show on Monday, today, Wednesday and Friday. Wednesday's show will be the afternoon, probably about maybe 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, something along those lines. And then I will do a show on Friday morning to cover the Friday discussion as well. And then we're back again on Monday, the day before the next game week. Don't forget, it is a midweek game week 21, but we'll discuss all that as the week goes on. Otherwise, I'm on 56 points today. That is my team. Pretty decent so far in terms of versus the average points, but otherwise we'll see how we go. As always, ladies and gents, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your views and I appreciate you guys watching all at home. You guys are fantastic, and I'll see you fantastic people on Wednesday afternoon. Otherwise, have a great rest of the Monday. Hope it's going well for you. You don't have any Monday blues, and I'll see you fantastic people on Wednesday. Take care of yourselves.